Hi, my name's CJ Moore, and today I'll be talking to you about the issue of Power 5 head football coaches leaving university programs to pursue money and better jobs at other schools, which in turn impacts college kids' futures. I did this assignment with Nick O'Day, who unfortunately, we couldn't do the presentation together as I'm back in Canada and he's still in Detroit. We did do all the research together and we did equal amount of work. Also, Flipgrid doesn't have a combining thing, so we're just going to do two different presentations with basically the same information. So this issue has been a thing for the last 20 years almost. It's came to light recently with University of Oklahoma and Notre Dame's head coaches leaving, but it's a thing that's happened. As you can see pictured in the slide, Nick Saban famously left national champion LSU to pursue the NFL and to accept a job with the Miami Dolphins, same as Urban Meyer, Florida, left for LSU. And college coaching turnover rate is a problem. I mean, USA Today did a study in 2011 just tracking to see how many stayed with the same program and had some loyalty there. And by 2015, so in 4 years, 66% of the coaches weren't with the same program they were at the start of the study. That's coordinators, head coaches, other assistants, position coaches. And that turnover rate is just not sustainable. I mean, that's basically one kid's tenure, and 66% of the coaches are gone. We expect kids to commit for 4 years and to play out their 4 years at the same university, and I think there should be no reason that coaches aren't held to the same standard. We see currently, as I touched on, Brian Kelly this year was one of the more notable ones. He left the University of Notre Dame, which is a premier head coaching position, probably top 5 in America, and left for LSU. SEC, big money. The contract rumored to be over $100 million. So it's hard to fault him for doing what's best for his family and for him, but at the same time, he's affecting kids' futures and leaving kind of their careers in jeopardy, up to uncertainty with they don't know the new coach that comes in, the new scheme maybe doesn't fit their play style. So it's not fair to the players, and it's not right that he should be able to do that and basically jeopardize 4 years worth of classes, four different incoming classes of kids. So that's not right. And it's not just him. College football has seen 28 new hires already this season, and the season's not even over yet. That was as of last week when I was researching it. I'm sure there's more vacancies that have been filled, but that number is insane to me. To think that 28 schools and programs with funding that their head coach has gone. There's a new coach in town, and there's bowl games to be played still. There's conference championships. Notre Dame, for example, had a chance to play in the college football playoff, and they wouldn't have had a head coach if they made it. Things went a little differently on the championship Saturday, but yeah, I mean, it's kids' futures that are being put in jeopardy, and it's for more money, which isn't fair. I mean, Lincoln Riley did the same thing, accepting a job at USC. When it is a new opportunity for them, they have a chance to recruit and change kids' lives in those states, but they're leaving behind a big hole. The future, I don't see this changing as much with the money that these universities are able to put out to pursue these highly touted coaches is astronomical. An LSU board of director even mentioned that it's unsustainable. This money that they're giving out to head coaches that could be used for engineering buildings, student housing, it's used on the football program and taking away a football coach. You see in the slide, Mel Tucker famously, he turned down the money. He said, I want to stay at Michigan State and build a program there and a relationship with the fans. And honestly, I respect that. And I think players do too. A coach that you commit to and he wants to stay and he wants to build a program there. And I think in the long run, that means more to players. And it'll help him more that he's able to recruit because they know he cares about the program and stuff. Players that want to commit to Brian Kelly, who's to say that he won't do it again, which I guess arguably you could say he did. He famously left Cincinnati in mid-2000s to get the Notre Dame job. A little stat, he's the only coach to leave 2 11-win teams to pursue other jobs, which tells a little bit about him as a person and his career path, but I mean, it's hard to argue he's been successful everywhere he's been. So until the universities stop giving out this money or there's some type of thing put in by the NCAA, that I don't see this stopping anytime soon. Which brings me to the next point. So I think that there should be something put in place that coaches aren't able to accept other jobs until their contract is finished. It's not right that they're able to say they sign a 5-year deal and in year 3 of the deal they're at another school. That's not right to the university. It's not right to the players, and it's not right to the other school that's bringing them in, because they have players that commit to another coach and a new coach comes in. It's not fair. They finish out their contract. Whether now it comes up point if they're fired, unless they're fired or there's a mutual sort of parting of ways for whether it be to accept a new job, then I think that's fine. And other than just being a specific rule that you can't accept another job, I think there should be some sort of penalty or sanction that other schools aren't able to poach coaches from other schools. I think you see it in the NBA with tampering, and it's a thing in recruiting. You can't a kid committed to the University of Michigan, he can't be recruited by another school. It's not fair. You can't do that. Michigan State can't come in and try to persuade him to come to Michigan State once he's committed and signed his letter of intent. And I think coaches should be held to the same standard. And I think universities should be held to the same standard. So whether it be a fine or a sanction, some type of postseason ban for schools that do this, but it's not right that LSU puts Notre Dame in that type of situation and that the coaches do it. So it's as much on the coaches leaving as it is for the universities recruiting them in. Now, this does leave sort of a hole. What happens when a coach is fired and there's no coach of that caliber to replace them in the open ranks, I guess you could say. So an SEC coach fires their head coach. They need a coach with the resume to fit that. They can't just hire say a high school coach to fill in an SEC job. So then it comes into how you build your program coaching wise. You see Notre Dame was easy to find a candidate in-house. I mean, Marcus Freeman was a defensive coordinator for Notre Dame. He was previously Cincinnati before then, and I think he stepped in. He's going to do great things. So it becomes on the university to have in-house candidates basically on hand. You see, I think coordinators should be able to transfer to other schools, and that's an upgrade for their career. It's not just going from school to school, but it's a promotion in that sense. And I think that's allowed. It should be allowed at least for this case. An offensive coordinator at Notre Dame should be able to accept a head coaching job at, say, Iowa, just for an example. That's the betterment of their career. And it's not just for money, but it improves their resume, and that's how you build to the top. You can't just go from head coaching jobs aren't just given out at big schools. You have to be a head coach at a smaller school and have success and go along that way. But just to sort of finish here, this issue of coaches leaving for more money, it's not going to stop. It has been a thing in the past, and until the NCAA does it, I don't see a stop to this. But I think the coaches should be held to the same standard of players. Players get it now. Recently, they're able to transfer, but before they would have to sit out a year. So coaches should have to either sit out the remainder of their contract or until a vacancy is available. They shouldn't be able to get in another spot like that to pursue more money. It's not right to the kids. It's not right to universities. It's not right morally for the true aspect of sports, which is the best play on the field. Thank you.